Talking Reds. I'm Josh Sexton. Got Craig Hannon with me today. Someone commented on the live Champions League draw video we did saying get Josh back on Talking Reds, so here I am.
Not true, Gibbo was meant to do it. And he's not here for some reason, so...
Grass. Anyway, in terms of Liverpool news, the first thing we're going to be talking about today, Craig, is Henderson signed his new deal yesterday. He's signed.
Are you sure? Are you sure about this?
Well, you know, we'll see what the comments say after the event. But yeah, Henderson signed a new deal until 2023, which is going to take him to 33 years old. And I suppose that's the worry for most people, Craig, is that people are thinking, you know, we're tying these players down perhaps for too long and they're going too far into the 30s. But with Henderson, I feel like we've got him locked down for his best years, and he's the captain of this side. And Klopp said it yesterday, he's our general, and you know, leaders only grow as they get older as well.
Definitely. Look, in terms of a business sense, you have to keep your assets, don't you? And you know, the people that are complaining about him being tied down for too long are the same people that if he decided to move on for free would be berating the club, saying, you know, why didn't we have him tied down in the same way Emre Can leaves on a free. We've seen that happen before. I don't think I'm struggling to think of a player who divides opinion like Jordan Henderson, in that, like, there's people on Twitter yesterday dead happy about him signing this contract, and then there's others that'll say shit, and there doesn't seem to be an in-between with Jordan Henderson, really, and it's just this really weird thing. Look, I like him. I like him as a footballer. I like him as part of our midfield. Whether in 6 months' time or 3 months' time even he's in our best midfield, we don't know. But we're in this position now that we've not been in years. That we've got a really strong midfield, and not just on the pitch. Like the players that are trying to get, who are sitting on the bench, who likes a Fabinho who's been signed for over 40 million and hasn't got near it, because we have such a strong midfield that we can allow him to bed in and get used to the way Klopp wants him to play, and that's a real positive for me. So the very fact that there's this discussion around whether Jordan Henderson's good enough to get into Liverpool's midfield or whether he's good enough long term, well, that's great, because the discussion's there because we are so strong, and I just don't get why anyone wouldn't be happy that we've tied down another player. And you know, he's the captain, and whether you like him or not as a captain, whether you think that he should be captain, or he's, you know, whether he doesn't live up to what Steven Gerrard was as a captain before him or not, he's a good player to have around the squad, and he's a person that the players seem to like. You see Trent Alexander-Arnold like quite often talk about or post about Jordan Henderson, about how he's helped them in the England set up within the Liverpool team, and some of the things that Jordan Henderson's done throughout his time at Liverpool as shows that he's a leader and shows that he gets us and he gets the club, and he loves playing for this club, and I just don't see why there'd be any sort of negativity around tying him down long term.
Yeah, and also if you believe in Klopp, and you know, and I think there's a lot of people who do, probably all the fan base do, then Jordan Henderson, you know, is his captain. Klopp's come out and praised him loads, and he's given him this new deal. It's a real show of confidence from him. But I think there's a few people who probably look at the first few games and like the look of Liverpool's midfield there with Naby Keita in it over Jordan Henderson. But we're not going to be able to play that midfield constantly, because there's going to be more offensive versions of that midfield when Oxlade-Chamberlain comes back. There's going to be more defensive ones when we're playing Henderson and Fabinho together. It's good to go horses for courses, isn't it?
That is it. That's exactly it. Like, I had a bit of a debate on Twitter with someone who said, you know, we've seen from the first 3 games just how good this midfield can look without Jordan Henderson in it. And then he's come in against Leicester, and he was poor against Leicester. Like, I'd be the first to say that. He wasn't good. But you know, we're not going to play with that. We're not going to play with that midfield 3 for every single game in the season. And something that we've often lacked is depth in that position. And now we've got it. And now there's a conversation around who should start and who shouldn't. Whether Keita should start the next one, I think he should. There's Wijnaldum who's playing a position that until maybe 6 months ago we hadn't seen him play. And then he plays it against City away in the Champions League, and he's brilliant, and he's looked good in the first 3 games. And brilliant. There's another conversation to be had. There's another debate to be had as to who should start. All positive.
Yeah. And so another bit of big news about a captain in Liverpool's lineup now is a new captain in Andy Robertson, who's been made Scotland's captain. And Roy Henderson, one of our contributors, wrote a great piece on the site yesterday. And he just keeps surprising me, Craig. Andy Robertson is a player who came in from Hull, and I remember having conversations with Sean actually, and I'm gutted he's not behind the camera today, because I love to keep reminding him that when Andy Robertson signed from Hull Sean said he must be crap because he plays for Hull, and he's gone on and proved Sean wrong. To be fair, and he's surprised me, he surpassed expectations, but he keeps doing that, doesn't he? You know, I remember when he first comes in and he doesn't get his game time straight away, but he waits and he bides his time, and then when he gets the chance, he takes it with both hands, and he just seems to keep doing things which are going above expectations.
I love the man. I absolutely love the man, and I think whenever he signed, we were all a bit like, what? Like, you know, a bit shrug of the shoulders, like Andy Robertson. I remember it got announced in the office, and we were all a bit like, all right, well, we trust Klopp, so it was one of them. We trust Klopp, so hopefully it'll work out. And like, my word, we've got one of the best left backs in the league, and he'll only continue to improve. And I love reading Roy Hendo's articles on him, because I think he's a Dundee fan as well, and he knew him through he was a big fan of him through supporting Scotland as well. And I like the fact that we've got another captain, another player who will, you know, grow into a leader, if he's not already a leader around that Scotland setup. And it's the fact that we've got a load of them. We've got a load of players who are the best players in their national team or their captain in the national team. That's great for us. More leaders, more players that, you know, you can rely on to sort of, you know, well, take the pressure on their shoulders, because they're doing it at the national team. They can do it at Liverpool. And as a player, like, it's the first time in I can't remember the last left back that I well and truly liked. It was before John Honorisa, before anyone says it. It was before him, and you know, Fabio Aurelio, yeah, what a man. But you know, Robertson just looks as if he's going to be the kind of player that's going to play for us for the next however number of years, and he's. I think Roy Hendo said it in his article, where he said that, you know, he won't let that affect him. He won't, you know, his feet will stay firmly on the ground. And I think the Anfield Rap interviewed him in America in the summer, and on camera and off camera he was exactly the same. He was full of laughs, just a really, really nice lad. And actually, do you know what we'll do? We'll put a clip from that interview in now. So here's a clip from the interview.
I think, you know, this club's good at, you know, the players and the fans, I think, have got a good relationship, but I felt, you know, the last 6-7 weeks of the season, you know, last season, I think we all really came together, and you know, it was probably since the Man City game, really, in the at home in the Champions League. I think, you know, the way the crowd reacted, and you know, the way we reacted to them putting in a good performance, and then, you know, obviously getting through to the semi-final. I think from that moment on, we really felt that, you know, we were all in this together, and it felt like that. And like you said, the scenes at the end of the Roma game was special. I think 5,000 or whatever were there, and you know, you could see them enjoying it just as much as us. And I think, you know, a few of the lads after the game, we were, you know, clapping the fans, and then everyone headed in. But we were, you know, we might not never get to a Champions League final again. We obviously hope we do, but you just never know. And I think we were really of a sense of, let's go and enjoy it. The fans are getting locked in for an hour and a half or whatever it is, so, you know, why not go out and, you know, just enjoy the moment and celebrate with them. And I feel as if, you know, that 15-20 minutes was special, and obviously, you know, the gaffer and all the staff came with us, and you know, all the boys were together, and it was, you know, obviously after the changing room, once we went in, it was like, you know, we've made them happy and proud, and now we just have one more step. But of course we never made that step. But you know, I think hopefully this season it will still stand us in good stead, that, you know, the fans and us will keep that kind of relationship, and you know, hopefully it can bring us trophies.
You're a Celtic supporter yourself, or grew up a Celtic supporter. You love Liverpool now, obviously. There is... What was noticeable last season was, you know, you got your song, and your song absolutely chanted out. And as someone who's been going to football matches in British stadiums for years, you know, that must have grabbed you. Firstly, how did it feel when you first heard it and thought, these people are right behind me here? But also, secondly, some of the lads jealous? Do they want one as well?
I think the first game that I really heard it was the Man City home in the league, and you know, it was obviously, you know, a great moment when the copper singing your name and stuff. It's special, and all the lads that have a song and stuff feel it. The lads that don't, maybe you know, feel as if they should have one. I think Chambo, before he got injured, was wanting one, and I think his name's just too long. So you need to change your name to get one. And then
yeah, a clip there from Andy Robertson in his interview with the Anfield Rap over the summer, and
that just came to my head there. We hadn't planned that.
Really on the spot thinking from Craig. No, but Andy was great in that interview, and Craig, I suppose one of the issues when he first came in from Hull in the summer when he did come in. I thought he'd be a bit too defensive, but he's really shown his attacking attributes, and he's got 2 assists already this season. He creates loads of chances last season, and that's one of the most positive things, isn't it? Is that he really suits this Liverpool lineup. And I remember when he replaced Moreno, and people were coming and thinking, well, Moreno's surely a better attacker, but Robertson's proven him to be a better attacker.
100%. Yeah, I can't believe there would have been any sort of debate around that. And like, I think after Alberto Moreno being our first choice, and the players that have played left back before him, I kind of just wanted a left back that would defend. I know that sounds like such a your dad thing to say, but like just a defender that you can rely on to just not make mistakes in big games. But Andy Robertson's shown he's so much more than that, and I think we've seen glimpses. We saw a couple of the goals he'd scored at Hull. We saw he'd scored a peach for Scotland when he just signed, and he still wasn't getting into the Liverpool squad. And I think we were seeing sort of glimpses of what he could do. But he's got a few assists this season already, and it just doesn't look as if it's going to stop. And it's like you say, he just looks like the perfect fit for this team, and not just stylistically as a footballer, but as a person, and that's something Klopp's big on. And I know that is when he's scouting these players. It's we know about Andy Robertson's past. I love that tweet, the tweet that's been going around the game, where it's like, hate being this age with no money, just give us a job. And then now he's playing for Liverpool, and he's played in the Champions League final, and he looks as if he's going to play for Liverpool for, hopefully the rest of his career. I'd absolutely love that.
And he plays a big part in one of the goals on Saturday, and we recorded a free show yesterday, sort of having a bit of a look at what Liverpool could have done better on Saturday, and it was a really good show. I'm not just saying that because I was on it, by the way, but here's a clip from that as well.
Peter Crouch often says what they believe is that football is a game of mistake management. In 90 minutes you will most definitely have mistakes. The most important thing is trying to minimize that, but when it does happen, how you react to it. For me, it was very, very interesting when he made the mistake to then watch the reaction afterwards, because I've said previously that the biggest difference for me this season with Liverpool is psychologically they don't feel like everything is a self-fulfilling prophecy in defence, that every set piece or corner or whatever is going to be a potential goal against them, that they can't win second balls, all these things that were level against them previously. Towards the end of last season, from about October, November, I think they started working heavily on eradicating all those things. But at the start of the season, you could just tell the confidence that the team had in their ability to defend. And so for that goal to happen in that manner, you want to see then, is the psychology still strong? Or is this going to be where they think to themselves again, oh gosh, here we go,
Yeah, dropping 10 yards deeper,
and
moving things.
Yeah, and it didn't happen. The keeper, and for the benefit of fans who weren't at Leicester yesterday, every single time the ball went anywhere near him after the mistake, the crowd were absolutely on him, trying to play into his mind. And he just wasn't bothered at all. He was so calm, so collected, did everything he would. It was like the mistake actually didn't happen, because he just continued as normal. And more importantly than that, not just him, Gomez, Van Dijk, everyone else also continued as normal, played the ball back to him. Yeah. They didn't now feel, oh goodness, we've got another goalkeeper that we've got to worry about. Look at what he's just done. The mistake itself should never get to the point where he's looking to Cruyff turn.
Yeah, that was a really good show yesterday, and that will be on our YouTube channel as well as on Audio Boom, so and on our website as well. So do check that out. And Craig, something that's coming up at the weekend with no club football to play, a bit of international football to play, is James Milner versus Stilian Petrov's match for cancer. And I know we've been running the competition on it at the Anfield, haven't we? But I'm most buzzing off Klopp's message to Brendan Rodgers, which is on Twitter today.
Really good, yeah. I think look, we all absolutely adore Klopp, and he just continually does these little videos that just makes you want to be his mate more, doesn't he? Like
when he calls him the landlord. That's
he calls Brendan Rodgers the landlord. I didn't actually realise that he was living in Brendan Rodgers' house, but he mentions in the video that the last time they'd met was just as Rodgers left Liverpool and as he came in, and I think he's mentioned in the past that they had a meeting, or they spoke on the phone at least about he got some information from him as they sort of switched places. But yeah, he has a bit of a joke about them having to chat about the electricity, and there's some plumbing issues and stuff, which is just brilliant. But yeah, the match, we ran a competition on Twitter. There was 20 winners. We had 20 pairs of tickets to give away. So they'll have been emailed by the time this video comes out and sent out. So yeah, well in if you've won that. And yeah, brilliant cause. And Neil was saying there as well, it's not often that these games have, you know, actual professional footballers in them, in terms of like they're still playing. It's usually ex-pros. I know Dirk Kuyt's there, which is exciting. But yeah, there's Garth Barry and James Milner. There's quite a few, but yeah, all for a really good cause. And Klopp said as well it's his first time at Celtic Park, which he seems to be excited about as well. So yeah, well into everyone.
Yeah, it'll be Klopp versus Brendan Rodgers on Saturday, and someone who's somehow still knocking about from the Brendan Rodgers era is Lazar Marković, and there's been a bit of controversy, I'd say, around him over the last sort of 48 hours. He's obviously not been picked in Liverpool's Premier League squad for the upcoming season, which sort of tells you everything you need to know about his future. But also, Anderlecht have had a bit of a pop at him. Their manager has said, our president and sports director did everything to convince Marković. They waited until Liverpool lowered the price. They almost did a crazy effort for the player, but it wasn't enough. It's his own fault that the deal fell through. And then Marković replied to that himself on Twitter, saying, thank you for making such a great effort to try and get me back in the club. However, money was not the issue. Good luck in the future.
What was the issue?
A bit moody, that, isn't it?
What was the issue, Lazar? Like, I think does he train with the first team? I don't even know if he trains with the first team, because he's not in the Premier League squad. That's been announced. So I don't. God, he's an enigma. Like he makes me laugh. He's a really funny footballer. Like, he just pops up like random times, and you forget. God, he's still playing for us. And then remember in pre-season he scored. I think it was against Blackburn. He scores quite a good goal. Scores quite a good goal, possibly against Blackburn. Maybe Bury. One of the two anyway. He pops up, he scores, and we're all like, God, there's Lazar Marković again. Hopefully we can sell him this window. No, absolutely not. I like the way they said, like, we tried to get Liverpool at the lower price. Like,
it went down to about 2 million in the end as well, which I thought
was it 2 million? Like, I think you just he's almost so cheap now that, remember, there was talk, I don't know if it was on Talking Reds or it was on the Top podcast, but there was talk of like Johnny Evans was going for 3 million, and like we should try and sign him, and like we don't have that kind of money, but he was that cheap that we could maybe even think about it. But Lazar Marković, like, I'm sure you could get him doing keepy uppies in the office or something, couldn't you? Like, it'd be better than him just being at Melwood and not doing anything and just going home. He has what a job he has at the minute.
He could do a few shows for us, I reckon. I reckon he's got it in his locker.
I don't know. Gibbo spoke to him in the mix zone in America and asked him a question, and he answered in like two words. It was like, yeah, everything's good. It's like, all right, thanks, Lazar. Thanks for talking to Tom. Yeah, weird player. I can't believe. Like, think how the high expectations we had of him. Like, when he signed, we were sort of. It was that summer where we just seemed to sign about 1 million players. I think we signed 10. Yeah. And yeah, I remember there was talk that Chelsea had been after him, and I remember thinking, well, he must be good if Chelsea are after him, and I think Chelsea have done us there, to be honest.
Well, we can have it as payback for Salah anyway. I remember having an argument with an Everton fan at the time about who was better out, him and Gerard Deulofeu, so I'm still not really sure who's won that, to be honest.
Nah, I love, like, whenever Facebook shows you like old things that you said from like 6-7 years ago, and it gives you a really good chance to delete all the stupid things that you said at the time. I remember there was one recently come up and it was like, Lazar Marković, I'm so excited, what a signing he is. Past Craig's got it completely wrong there. Future Craig can now see that, like, you're chatting shit.
I had a worse one than that about Carroll and Torres, but I'm not going to go any more into it than that. But yeah, Markovic's deal's up at the end of the season. I imagine his highlight reel will be full of goals from pre-season and that time he hit the bar against Sunderland.
That's literally it. That is literally it.
Tells you everything you need to know about his time at Liverpool. But yeah, that has been Talking Reds. If you enjoyed the video today, leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Nice one.